Before the nails, before the crown, before they tried to put the holy down, there was a woman and a river and a man, and God was working out a different plan. John stood deep in the Jordan, calling out the lost. Mary came to him, ignoring what it cost. Son, hot Galilean son, she gave him a heart and bore him a son before his race was run. Herod's sword came swinging in the dark of night, took the prophet's head before the morning light. The law was clear. A kinsman must rise when his brother disappears. What the Roman records never told was written in the blood, was written in the old. Before the cross there was a family line, a widow and a rabbi and a love divine. He took her as his own the way the law prescribed, and carried on the blood that death could never hide. Before the cross it was already done. A daughter and a son, a daughter and a son. Already done, already done. Oh. Jesus looked at Mary through the grief. He saw the ancient law more than a widow. He saw what the others never saw. Flame, sacred flame. He saw John's trial, waiting for a father's name. So he took her hand beneath the desert sky and made her his before the world said goodbye. Two children growing in the Galilean dust, carrying the covenant, carrying the trust. They tried to bury it, tried to close the door, but our grandmothers remembered what the scrolls were for. Before the cross there was a family line, a widow and a rabbi and a love divine. He took her as his own the way the law prescribed, and carried on the blood that death could never hide. Before the cross it was already done. A daughter and a son, a daughter and a son. Already done, already done. Oh. Our elders spoke of a man who walked on water, who left behind a son, who left behind a daughter. The story lived in whispers, lived in smoke and cedar, passed from grandmother to mother, mother to the reader. We were here when the bloodline touched this land. We will witness, we still understand. Before the cross there was a family line, a widow and a rabbi and a love divine. He took her as his own the way the law prescribed, and carried on the blood that death could never hide. Before the cross it was already done. A daughter and a son, a daughter and a son. Before the cross the blood was already running. Before the cross the road was already begun. A daughter and a son, a daughter and a son. Already begun, already begun.
They say the sea was rough the night she sailed, a widow and her children thin and pale. But something in the water kept them whole, a bloodline God was not prepared to fold. Jerusalem burning, the Romans making sure there'd be no trap. She wrapped the children tight against the wind, praying that the Mediterranean wouldn't end. The boat came aground on a southern French shore. Marseille is open to Jewish colony waiting in the hills. They knew the name she carried, they knew the will. She didn't come as refugee or slave, she came as keeper of a royal grave. Mary at the shore, Mary at the shore, carrying the bloodline no one could ignore. Children of the covenant, children of the vine, landing in the south of France with the sacred sign. Mary at the shore, the story doesn't end, it just goes underground and comes around again. Mary at the shore, generations passing, the bloodline married into Frankish wills. closely with a heavy fear. The blood they silenced started to reappear. Our grandmother said Mary never forgot. She carried every name in every plot. Mary at the shore, Mary at the shore, carrying the bloodline no one could ignore. Children of the covenant, children of the vine, landing in the south of France with the sacred sign. Mary at the shore, the story doesn't end. It just goes underground and comes around again. Mary at the shore. We have our own stories of women who carried fire across the water through the danger, higher and higher. A mother is a vessel, a mother is a road. She carries what the fathers couldn't hold. Our grandmothers nodded when we heard this tale. A woman and her children and a westward gale. We recognized the pattern, we had seen it before. A sacred line survives by finding shore. Mary at the shore, Mary at the shore, carrying the bloodline no one could ignore. Children of the covenant, children of the vine, landing in the south of France with the sacred sign. Mary at the shore, the story doesn't end. It just goes underground and comes around again. Mary at the shore, she made it, she made it. The blood kept running. Mary at the shore, Mary at the shore, Mary at the shore.
"1307, France on fire. The Pope and the King called the Templars liars. What they really wanted, what they really feared, was a secret that the Knights had kept for years. Ships, La Rochelle, sailing dark without a light. Scotland was excommunicated ground. Safe, Booth stood waiting, gold rain. King who needed knights to break the chain. He did not ask their name. Opened up the gate, let him claim the land. Somewhere in the Scottish bloodline we, sacred family, married in and would not leave. Rustling in the rain, rustling in the rain. They carved the truth in chapel stone to let it live again. Maze on the walls before Columbus sailed the sea. A hooked X in the archway, come and read what we believe. Rustling in the rain, they built it so we would know that the blood of something holy had a long way to go. Rustling in the rain, stone, Sinclair's raised for the New World and the cornerstone. Plants that no one in Scotland should have seen. Pressed, ancient mortar, ancient green. The hooked X appeared, same mark that would show up on a shore, leaving us a trail. Follow the mysteries. Rome kept closing in and Scotland turned to ice. The bloodline had to move again and pay the price. Rustling in the rain, rustling in the rain. They carved the truth in chapel stone to let it live again. Maze on the walls before Columbus sailed the sea. A hooked X in the archway, come and read what we believe. Rustling in the rain, they built it so we would know that the blood of something holy had a long way to go. Rustling in the rain. Our people saw them come, strange boats. They did not conquer, they did not burn, they did not claim. They came with open eyes, they came with open hands. History holds a memory. Quiet strangers carrying the bloodline through the blur. Rustling in the rain, rustling in the rain. They carved the truth in chapel stone to let it live again. Maze on the walls before Columbus sailed the sea. A hooked X in the archway, come and read what we believe. Rustling in the rain, they built it so we would know that the blood of something holy had a long way to go. Rustling in the rain. kept moving west. The blood kept moving west. The blood kept moving west. 14 men by the cold inland sea, 8 Godlanders and 6 from the company, looking for what the old map's promise would be. They left their blood on a Minnesota air, red stains in the grass, silence cold as glass, gone. A heavy stone car by shaking hand drove it deep down into stolen sand. The stone stays quiet on the ones who live, a story the heavy earth won't give. They walked west, they walked into the shade. 1362, a hook that's in the stone, 14 men by the water far from home, 10 dead in the grass, the rest just walked on into the western dark and they were gone. 1362, we found the jar, we found the scroll, we found where you are, in the bloodline of the canyon, in the bloodline of the sun. The children of the covenant kept on the run. Survivors moving south, following the rivers to the wide river mouth where the sun finds rest. Civilizations all waiting there with the sacred gold. The Aztec and Maya, they read the stars the same. Temple builders recognize the name under the canyon rim where the Sun King reigned. The bloodline of Jerusalem reclaimed. A Sun King in the canyon holding light. Helios reborn in the ancient night, searching for home, searching for the end. 1362, the hook deck's in stone, 14 men by the water far from home, 10 dead in the grass, the rest just walked on into the western dark and they were gone. 1362, we found the jar, we found the scroll, we found where you are, in the bloodline of the canyon, in the bloodline of the sun. The children of the covenant kept on the run. Watching the pale strangers arrive, carrying a fear they needed to keep alive. My grandmother held the memory without a book, just the fire, just the way truth looks. The unknown why they watched the bloodline pass. Through the smoke, through the glass, we carried our own covenant in our bone. We knew the wanderers we had always known. 1362, the hood deck's in stone, 14 men by the water far from home, 10 dead in the grass, the rest just walked on into the western dark and they were gone. 1362, we found the jar, we found the scroll, we found where you are, in the bloodline of the canyon, in the bloodline of the sun. The children of the covenant kept on the run. Still running. The blood never stopped. 1362, 1362, gone west, gone south into the sun.
They buried it in the Adirondack pine, sealed in green glass, wrapped in linen, wrapped in time. A man with a shovel and a lifetime of proof came up from the ground with the underground truth. Grandmothers told it by the kitchen like the same names, same blood, every night. Family story, smoke and dream. Truth has a way of busting at the seams. A geologist followed the hook decks west through every test, Scotland to the stone, to the Adirondack chance. Followed the bloodline from the cross to France. They said let it go, they said move along, but our grandmothers never got that song wrong. No, they never got it wrong. Looking into
cross to France, to the Scottish rain, to a Minnesota stone on the western plain, into the canyon where the Sun King stood, into the bloodline of our neighborhood, looking into Walter's jar. Lord, what we found, Lord, what we are. A prune juice jar from 1940 something's earth, holding a scroll it knew its worth. 1900 years of running from the sword, hidden in the forest, hidden in the Lord. The same names our grandmothers carried on their tongue, the same blood that our elders said was strong. From Jerusalem they hear without a break, a living line no empire could ever erase. The line it stays, they tried to bury it, but the ground gave back everything they put beneath the Adirondack. Yeah, it all came back. Looking into Walter's jar, holding up the truth like a morning star. From the cross to France, to the Scottish rain, to a Minnesota stone on the western plain, into the canyon where the Sun King stood, into the bloodline of our neighborhood, looking into Walter's jar. Lord, what we found, Lord, what we are. Keepers of the western door, we held this land, we held this memory in store. When the wanderers came carrying their ancient grief, we recognized the bloodline underneath. Our clan mothers said there would come a day the scattered children found their way back to the truth that the powerful denied, back to the blood that never really died. We were here, we were always here, witness to the covenant, witness to the year. The jar came open and the scroll unfurled, and the bloodline of Jerusalem met the oldest world. Looking into Walter's jar, holding up the truth like a morning star. From the cross to France, to the Scottish rain, to a Minnesota stone on the western plain, into the canyon where the Sun King stood, into the bloodline of our neighborhood, looking into Walter's jar. Lord, what we found, Lord, what we are. From Jerusalem to the western door, the blood kept running, running still.